In this movie, we want to see how we can save our analysis in JMP. What that helps us do is we don't have to do our analysis all in one sitting. We could approach our analysis in various stages, where at each stage we can save our work in JMP. So let me explain to you what I mean. Suppose first I want to start by looking at the summary stats of these two variables. I want to look at the suggested retail price and dealer cost. So like before we go to analyze, I'll click on distribution and I'll import my suggested retail and dealer cost as my Y columns and save and create histograms as well as summary stats. And suppose we don't want to look at the quantiles, so as we saw before, we can go over here, click on display option, and then uncheck quantiles. I can do the same for my dealer cost. Display options, quantiles. Now suppose I want to end my work here. I'm going to come back to this at a later time. This red arrow helps us have that option. So if I click on the red arrow, I see the save script. And here we have 4 or 5 options. The one we will use is save script to the data table. What this will do is this will create like a macro of this analysis in the data table. So if you notice here, there's this green play button and it has saved a script that we just did. So let's say we come back at a later time and we want to draw a chart. So this time we go to analyze and let's say we go to graph builder. I do a scatter chart of my suggested retail price as my y-axis and my dealer cost as my x-axis. See, that is a pretty tight fit in this regard, that suggested retail is very strongly related with dealer cost. Now, let's say we want to also see how this varies based on the class of cars. So let's look at the pickup truck, and I'm going to bring my pickup truck to overlay. What this does is that all cars which had a pickup truck flag of 1 are red. All cars which are not pickup truck are now 0. This is a binary variable for whether the car is a pickup truck or not. Now suppose I want to save this to my data table as well. We can again go to this red arrow, click on save script, and click on data table. And let's call it our scatter chart. Scatter chart, I'll say retail and dealer. We save OK. So as we see that this has been saved here, I can now save my data table, file, save as. Let's call this new, and this gets saved as a JMP file and we can exit out of it. Now let's say I want to continue this analysis again. I go click on open. We had this file that we had just worked with. I click open. And now the neat thing is that all my analysis has been saved into this data table. I can click on this play button. It will recreate the graph the way I had saved it, without the quantiles and for these two variables. And I can again go and click on this play button, and this will now save the chart present the chart that I had saved as well. So again, you see that this is a very useful way of keeping your research and your analysis reproducible, saving it to the data table so that you can replicate this at a later date. This is how you will be submitting all the assignments when you're doing work in JMP. You will be saving your analysis in the data table.